Been almost 2.5 years since the attacks of 9/11, and in that time there hasn't been a single terrorist attack in the United States that we know of. Why is that? And why is it that that's not part of the political discussion? Let's ask Charles Krauthammer. He is a Fox News contributor and syndicated columnist who wrote a column today. It's after reading it, it's a lot more complicated than I would have thought before, huh, Charles?
Well, it is very complicated. And first of all, it's strange that no one will talk about it. I mean, we know why politicians don't want to talk about it, because you could have an attack tomorrow, so you don't want to take credit if you're the administration, and if you're the opposition, you don't want to give any credit to the administration for having kept us safe for this 2.5 years. But the question is, why hasn't Al-Qaeda attacked? And you could say they've been degraded, they're on the run, and they can't mount another 9/11, which is probably true. But they could do something small, and the mystery is, why haven't they tried that? That could cause a lot of havoc, but they haven't done that.
And you suggest in the column, at least, that one of the reasons for that might be that they had, from their perspective, such a roaring success. Why spoil it?
It is kind of strange, but in this sort of crazed psychology of the jihadist, you know, the one who wants to go to heaven and who thinks that he's acting in the name of God, I think maybe part of the reason is that, having achieved the most spectacular terrorist attack in history, they don't want to do a car bomb, say, the kind of thing that we saw in other countries in the last few months. And they may be working towards some other spectacular. But I suspect that we really have had remarkable success with Al-Qaeda itself. And what we've seen in the last 2.5 years, that there have been attacks in a lot of other countries, these smaller attacks, the car attacks. And maybe their strategy is, they realize that by hitting us on 9/11, they woke up the giant, and they have suffered as a result. They lost Afghanistan. Pakistan has switched over to our side. And maybe their strategy is to go after local regimes, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, or Pakistan, or elsewhere. And they may not want to tangle with the giant again.
If you think like that, though, if you use that as your line of thinking, it makes me question what their goal is in the end. Because so many have said, so many with a lot more knowledge than I have, that if they were to use a couple of people here and there, do a couple of very small events in a mall, at a sporting event, or right, in the subway station, things that are very easily done, that they could literally cause some awful worldwide domino effects on the economy and all the rest.
Absolutely. I mean, it would have a devastating effect here economically, as you say, and also psychologically. In a sense, all of us have sort of returned to where we were before 9/11. We're not on edge as we were in the months and weeks afterwards. But I think their objective is to establish an Islamic superstate, to get rid of all the regimes in the area and to restore the glory of Islam as they understand it. They thought the way to that is to hit Washington and New York, but they got a lesson about how strong America is and how determined. And maybe their strategy is, well, we'll go after the smaller fish one at a time rather than attack headquarters, which is how they see us.
Charles Krauthammer, I read it in the New York Daily News in a number of papers on a search of Yahoo and the rest. Charles, great to see you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
As millions of Americans continue to debate the Atkins phenomenon, Cavuto talks to the author of The South Beach Diet. How to beat the bulge? Stay with.